So Dignitas has definitely been hit hardest by Visageddon, but now I would say it's less impactful than it's been in the previous 2 weeks.
I will say, though, shout out assistant coach Emmy, but the head coach Swiffer is now here for Dignitas. I did see him in the studio, so that was the final visa issue that they were having difficulties with.
But he's not on stage. I
believe he was. I saw him in there. If he's not, that's crazy.
I mean, there's a chance that they've just been running drafts without him, so he's not there. So
there he is. Now we see him on screen.
Oh,
right there on the
he's hiding on the side.
He's incognito mode.
Welcome, Swiffer.
Yeah, welcome, Swiffer. Because that was the final piece to the Dignitas puzzle that wasn't here in Los Angeles. Again, it's been tough. Talking with the team, I got to see it sit in on some of their scrims, how hard review was with the coach remote. We've heard teams like Team Liquid talk about that as well. Yeah, it's not an ideal situation for a team to be in, but now they do have everybody together under one roof. Let's see if that changes the result today, because not only is this impactful for the winner here, keeps their lives alive for a chance at making the bracket stage, but Team Liquid and LYON are also going to be watching this very closely, because it changes who gets the bye and who has to play a best-of-1 qualifying game.
So, just so everyone is up to date on stakes, we're going to mention this frequently.
Yep.
But loser out for sure.
Yep. 0-3. Can't make it in.
0-3. Can't make it in. Last place of Swiss. Winner still might be out. They will then have to play a best-of-1 at the end of the day. And if it's Dignitas who wins, they'll play TL. If it's Shopify who wins, they'll play LYON.
Yep.
Because the way the strength of victory tiebreaker works is, since those two teams have beaten those two teams, the winner becomes the better strength of victory, which will then advance the team. It's a really interesting way that tiebreakers work. I'm sure we had a lot of tiebreaker experts today after Europe almost had like an 8-way tie.
Theirs was crazy with all best-of-1s throughout.
They didn't talk about why it was happening. They just talked about what needs to happen. So I think we'll stick with that, right?
Okay, sure.
If Dig wins, they'll play TL at the end of the day. If Shopify wins, they'll play LYON at the end of the day. Don't need to explain why.
Safer line of thought. Let's talk about what's happening in draft so far in game number 1. It's a 0 locked in early for Palafox, and then Varus answer over the side of Shopify. A lot of jungle bans from Shopify side try to pinch XU's pool. Meanwhile, we do see more of those solo lane bans coming in from Dignitas. Jace can flex between jungle solo lane, but generally I still think of him as, in my brain, a solo laner, so they're looking more at Fudge Zinni's champ pools.
Absolutely. So with the first pick, Azir, it means Shopify doesn't need to pick mid lane yet. They just end up going with a couple power picks. The Ambessa can actually be a flex pick between top and jungle. And I'm a little bit curious, actually, to see if Zinni ends up matching with Orianna, which would be the standard, or if he's got something spicy, because what's been lost with Zinni's poor debut was his champion pool hype coming in. He did a preseason interview. 22 unique
champs last year.
Yeah, he did a preseason interview where their coach Revan said one of the conditions of him joining was that I was going to let him expand and explore his champion pool. But when you're 0-4 in games, 0-2 in matches facing elimination, I don't know if that's the right chance to expand. Maybe you just play the Orianna.
Maybe you just play the Orianna. His Anivia, some of the more neat. I know Anivia's getting more popularity with buffs at the end of last year and counter matchups, but that's when he played. He played things like Xerath, Vel'Koz, these artillery mages. We haven't seen any of that yet, so I'm still waiting for Zinni to impress me. I would love to see something exciting, but I also agree that sometimes playing the easy is better, but no, it's going to be Akali locked in, presumably, for Zinni there. High execution assassin mid laner.
Yeah, so definitely going with something more mobile. I feel like the Jarvan would have pushed him a bit away from the Orianna when XU locked it in that early. So looking forward to seeing if Zinni can style on him in any way, shape, or form.
Sion is the tank top lane for Photon. I'm looking at this composition, seeing a Sion Azir, thinking that is a strong front-to-back style of composition. Azir is a little flexible. You can also go for more dive if you have a lot of tools around it. J4, flexible in that regard as well. So they're holding that bot lane to really show the true identity of what the Dignitas composition is going to be. When I look at Shopify's composition, though, I am seeing two champions that love to get on backlines with Ambessa and Akali. So that immediately puts alarm bells in a player like FBI's head, thinking, okay, how am I going to stay safe in these fights?
Ezreal.
Yep.
Jhin.
Not Kai'Sa.
Xayah. Anything that doesn't get dove. Jhin would be a really safe pick. I actually think Ezreal makes the most sense into Varus, Ambessa, Akali, just because Jhin, Sion, Jarvan might be a little bit low on damage.
Yeah.
But I feel like he has too many options to really fully ban away, which is why they just threw the ban at the Kai'Sa and moved on.
Yeah, and also the Poppy. It's something Ignar likes to play, and it can really give a headache to champions like Ambessa and Akali. So looking at that support pool instead. Now, Shopify Rebellion, we get to see if that's an Ambessa jungle or if they're going to pivot to something else. And Bessa, again, can be flexed to the top lane. I would have expected more of a support, so they hold that flex pick for longer, but giving Seo's counter pick based on the hovers so far. We saw the Lee Sin and the Vi, so it seems like maybe... I mean, support counter pick isn't a foreign concept. We have seen this in the past, and it is the Vi locked in, so they're saving that for Seos.
Yeah, definitely like saving support for counter pick when you haven't seen the enemy bot lane whatsoever. Enemy jungle already being shown, so there's also not that much wiggle room for what you're playing in jungle in game 1 of Fearless. It's one of the 4 Sundered Sky users, so he just decides on the Vi.
Choose your pick. Pick your poison.
Potentially Vi's also good because Vi's pretty good into Ezreal if Ezreal was going to be the pick, and it makes FBI want to stand further away. Looks like FBI wants slightly longer to think about his AD carry pick, and he wants to test the client. Because rather than picking AD carry and then support, they're going to do each other's and then trade. But clearly they're still discussing.
Make sure you set your runes. It is the Nautilus locked in for Ignar, as now the final pick will go to FBI. It's funny when you see that, because that to me says, it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm going for, and then either coach or Ignar's like, okay, I'm playing Nautilus no matter what. Just lock it in, and then the Jin's followed up with it.
Yep, you could see the Vi probably spooked him a little bit, so he's going to be standing really far back. This means it's going to be a game where Palafox has to do a lot of work. He is the only true sustained damage on this team, and it's not an easy game for the Azir either, since it's difficult for Palafox to play side lanes against an Akali Vi.
So I just want to bring up something that I think is important as we see the final pick locked in here for Shopify. It is the Braum locked in for that bot lane matchup. Very hard for Nautilus to ever engage into a Braum. Usually just a death sentence for the Nautilus. But I want to point out something you said. A lot is going to be on the shoulders of Palafox for this game on Dignitas' side. Yeah. And in an ultimate grudge match bowl, contracts on the Vi, point-and-click CC lockdown on Palafox. How many times do you think Contracts is going to ult Palafox specifically this game?
That's a great question to ask Twitch chat, actually.
I think that's a great poll, yeah.
How many times is Contracts going to ult specifically Palafox?
Over, under, because specific number's kind of tough.
3.5.
3.5, I like that. So
yeah,
if it's under 3.5, it's 3 or below.
Jeez, maybe that's way too low, because who's he really going to be pressing R on? Jhin or
It's the Azir.
No, I'm putting it at 4.5.
4.5. Final one? All right, if we can get a Twitch poll, how many times will Contracts ult Palafox?
I'm also going to say over.
Over, under.
So,
I agree. I'm also going over. So 4.5 as the barometer right there. Either way, Shopify Rebellion's composition definitely wants to go for the dives. They have a lot of range follow-up with the Varus. And then on the side of Dignitas, potentially a more traditional front to back with things like the Azir and the Scion and the Jhin standing all the way away from that vibe.
Far away.
Far away. Shopify Rebellion versus Dignitas. Okay, apparently chat is saying a lot of 6-7, which I don't... technically 67 is above 4.5.
Should we have just set it at 6.5 just so we could get
that was a great opportunity. We just totally whiffed that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Either way, that is
distracted by the ultimate grudge match
4.5. Yeah. Well, be careful saying that, Chad. Every time we say it, see, we have the power. You can't just casually throw that in, because they're going to throw it up. All right, laning phase has begun for Shopify Rebellion versus Dignitas. A reminder, the loser is out of contention for the bracket stage. The winner will have a best-of-1 elimination match ahead of them right after FlyQuest versus C9 at the top of the standings match after this one. So stick around. We got a lot of LCS action today.
Yes, we do. Very calm at the start of this early game. Eerily calm. Now it's a little bit less calm. As I don't know if the stream had no game sounds, but I had no game sounds, so it was really eerie for like a minute for me.
It takes you out of the moment, you know? Trying to build it up.
Thank God we have game sounds. Otherwise, this would be I would be uncomfortable watching and listening to.
That's how I started casting. Yeah. Fun fact was I would just mute LCS and pretend to be a caster with my roommate on the couch. So to me, that's my roots right there, Jeb.
Okay, you're in your comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this does feel better. All right, let's catch up though on expectations for this, because when we look at junglers like J4 and Vi, immediately, Jad, I'm thinking they can look for early action. If anything is going to happen early in this game, do you have an expectation of where that might be and why?
I was just I apologize with the game sound. The expectations for
early action with these junglers. Because I see something like a J4, and I'm seeing a lane like a Nautilus Jhin, thinking that's a prime example of a lane that you can try and impact early on.
For sure. I think it's just a bot crab battle, and it's going to depend on mid and bot prio. So currently, currently, the wave is just pushing back. I don't think anyone is necessarily that exposed. Dignitas put the one early ward in the river. Looks like B-Boy's still sitting on his trinket, so unlikely that we see anything until everyone full clears and moves towards a buck ramp.
Yeah, if we do get the push back from FBI, and okay, already some aggression happening here. Early heal use as FBI gets chunked out, and that does signal XU to come down. Seos and B-Boy will now walk up, but they spot the Jarvan. Immediately start to path away. Contracts is here. The dredge line lands, followed up by the root. B-Boy in trouble, and first blood to Ignar.
That's crazy that B-Boy died to that. Didn't burn flash on the hook. They weren't connected. Also, it looks like Contracts doesn't have
for
smite.
this right now. Zinni's coming from mid lane, and that is a secure for Contracts. He actually does pick that one up. XU's not able to take it away.
Yeah.
But bizarre start to that game. I mean, it seemed like it was an early chunk win for Shopify Rebellion's bot lane, but then get a little overconfident, and the J4 gets there first.
He absolutely does. Contracts is going to end up getting the double scuttle, so a small consolation prize, and the kill did end up going over to Ignar, so it probably ends up not being super impactful, but it was a really strange series of events.
That first blood on Ignar now has the boots to get back to lane a little faster, but outside of that, yeah, you would rather that gold go on an 80 carry, something like a Jhin, pick up more combat stats, but we do still have more combat stats with the double longsword compared to the Cole, so in that regard, FBI is ahead. And now we have a game pause very early in this Ultimate Grudge match.
Ultimate Grudge match bowl. We got to get eyes. Who's asking for a ref?
Who's asking for? Oh, did we just break the Ultimate Grudge match bowl with the transition?
Absolutely did.
Yeah, it's always fun to peek who is talking to the ref, because that'll tell us who called for the pause most likely.
Ooh.
Oh, we got some music.
This is Ultimate Grudge Match Bowl music right here. Remember why we're in the Ultimate Grudge Match Bowl? It's because Shopify Rebellion had Palafox as their mid laner. He put up poor stats for most of the year. Probably feels scapegoated. Possibly because he was blamed.
Did you blame him, Jet?
I did.
I might have blamed him a little bit, too.
I think everyone blamed him in some way. He fought back as well.
Which, by the way, I appreciate when players are willing to come on an episode of Pros. Shout out Pros, by the way. Check out the latest episode. We had a bunch of junglers on there. But whenever players are willing to come on and, you know, fire back a little bit, say, I don't think I'm represented correctly, I respect that. Because then we can have a conversation about it. Because if we're having an honest conversation about Palafox, I think he's actually looked much better this year. Last year was a tough one for him for sure, but I have been impressed with his laning, and in that regard also I'd say Photon too. Like the solo lanes for Dignitas mostly have been holding it down.
Absolutely. I feel like Photon and Palafox have looked pretty good so far, but they've had huge issues with their bot lane. Week 1 they played with Mobility and Breezy. They were up against Berserker Isles. They got completely slammed early on. And then last week I'd say FBI Ignar came in with jet lag, with very little practice. Couldn't really tell the difference. So it just felt like they haven't had a bot lane yet in their 2 matches as they're sitting at 0-4. So the pause is FBI for a potential audio issue. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I remember I was casting here yesterday. LYON also paused in that very chair for a potential audio issue.
Did somebody curse the chair?
Check that headset, guys. I think it's time. I know they're expensive. I think we need to
burn some incense is what I'm saying. I think it's just like the bed.
It's cursed.
Yeah, it's cursed.
I see.
In that location.
Couldn't possibly be somewhat broken. It must be mystical.
Well, I mean, sure it could, but let's talk about what's more likely here, Jed.
Yeah.
All right, they are checking it, so we'll keep you updated on how that looks going forward. I did notice Seos is putting on lip balm, though.
Yep.
Are you a lip balm guy, Jet?
No.
I'm not either.
I should be.
So this is...
I have very dry lips.
Oh! Yep. See, I do not usually have very dry lips, and I have a secret to it. You just exfoliate. You don't need lip balm. You just got to get the dead skin off of there.
Okay.
Yeah. Tip for anybody at home.
Yeah. My myth thought is that if I ever start using it, it's just going to get worse if I don't use it. So I never wanted to start.
Yeah, well, that gets into the conspiracy theory of like, oh, they put stuff in it that will dry it out later, so it feels good right away.
Just if your body doesn't have to moisturize your own lips, it's going to stop being able to. Like, it's always going to go back to a baseline level of moisturization.
Classic big lip balm plug right there, this guy. Yeah.
Just like if I shaved my head, would it grow back? I don't know.
The hair just gives up.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I did this to myself, actually. Yeah.
Were you thinking as you just shaved it off, and you're like, you know what? By cutting it, it's going to want to replenish.
Jet,
and it just didn't happen?
I'll tell you the honest story. I looked at one of my good friends. We had just graduated college, and I said, buddy, how's it looking? And he said, it's not looking good. Okay. And it was that night that I decided to shave the head. So it was more so of acceptance rather than let's try and encourage it. But I have heard that if you shave like your facial hair, that it grows back like faster, or like stronger. That's not the word I'm looking for.
So you seem like someone who can grow a beard easily.
I can, yes.
I feel like there's an inverse relationship between head hair and facial hair.
Well, it just migrates. That's the secret.
Well, because I am 38 years old and I have never had a full beard. It's always patchy. To? I've wanted to try, but like literally, I only shave like every 4 days to shave your head. It'll come in right away. That's how it works.
That's it. I'm sure Fudge would agree as well. There's plenty of examples, though, unfortunately, of the inverse where, you know, or rather not the inverse, just having a head of hair and a beard. Thankfully, we can stop talking about facial hair, though, because we are back into game. It seems like the audio issues have been sorted out.
We do have a lot of really good topics, but we wanted to be in game for this. So back on the point of Palafox and Contracts, they have played together for so long.
A record amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 years together, dating all the way back to CLG, as we see a bit of a trade going on in the bottom lane. But yeah, 2022 spring was their first game together. They make playoffs in summer, and they win the title in summer of next year. And then they beat G2, make top 8.
That CLG to NRG run was legendary, and we
stayed together 2 more years after that.
2 more years after that between NRG and then Shopify Rebellion coming in and picking up the roster. And now this is the first time in a long time that they have different junglers, and we can see here number one, 228 games. Second place is almost over 40 games behind.
This shocked me though. Like, you think about the OGs of the LCS, Bjergsen, Svenskeren there at 182.
And these were a long time ago also.
46 more games. Yeah, Bjergsen Svenskeren got to cheat and play best of 3s for like a whole year.
Yeah.
So that like doubled their games. They still aren't more than Palafox Contracts. It's incredible.
And we talked I got to talk to them a little bit before the game saying what's different, and obviously Palafox just saying, you know, it just feels different. Like everything's new with a new jungler. But Contracts was mentioning things like the language barrier, which a player like Zinni coming in with this champ pool does exciting picks, high mechanical skill. Language barrier can be a legitimate concern. But right now, it seems like the junglers are still focused mostly on this bottom side, as XU was hovering around for a little invade. Now, doubling back into mid lane. Contract spotted on a ward. Zinni currently going in. He shuriken flipped already. He uses the Shroud as well. And now XU perfectly landing the flag and drag. Zinni, though, perfect executions out and is fine. Even in the 1v2, he's holding his own. Pushes back XU and Palafox.
Yeah, they got the ult out of Zinni, so Palafox is still going to have his ult if we end up seeing a Drake fight. And we actually have a rare top Scuttle Crab spawn.
Oh,
like this almost never happens, so we're not going to have the Scuttle Crab battle.
Yeah, no 6-minute bot lane all in. It is spawning on the top side. It's got to be like a 10% spawn rate up there.
I think it's bugged. I have a theory.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a theory. I've DM'd Freak to look into it.
He's just denying it. He doesn't want to admit.
He doesn't work the weekends.
We have an invade happening, though. Contract's level 6. XU still level 5. Contract will start up the red buff, but XU should hit level 6 off of all of the Krugs. We'll see. It's got to be close, but Contracts did get 3 Scuttle Crabs. He got bot and top, and then the second spawn. So XU actually is not level 6. Contracts just takes away the red buff, and XU has to have a support roam all the way up just to try and get these chickens. Shopify Rebellion, meanwhile, also have Seos up here. Contracts goes in, ultimate used. Now XU does hit level 6 finally. Flash up from Contracts. Palafox shuffles in and gets the kill onto Contracts. The ultimate grudge match bull. First kill the mid lane of Dignitas.
What's the over-under on ult? Palafox lands onto Contracts.
Oh, we should have asked that one.
Because he's 1 for 1 on ults to kills on his former jungler. Palafox goes in for the big play. Contract is really feeling it there.
No, Zinni's fine.
Stole the red, wanted to steal the Raptors as well, but just really bad timing there that XU was able to secure level 6, get the ultimate to really trap Contracts where he didn't want to be. And that's a nice early sequence after everything happens for Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, XU was so close to level 6. He just needed a little bit more. So let's take a look at an ultimate grudge match bull replay.
And it's Palafox sees the moment. Little visual bug. He did flip him over the wall, though, if you just track where that ult should knock him to. XU can't quite connect on the next flag and drag, so Seos' flash will get burned on the Ignar hook instead. Big win across the board there for Dig.
Yeah, I mean, heads up play for Contracts to realize, okay, I got 3 scuttles. He's going to be underleveled. I can go for the invade. The red buff was great, but then sticking around a little long potentially just the confidence of Seos. Support, notably always around Contracts, one of the highest, support jungle proximity stats in the league. But this time around, it is Dignitas that benefit from it, and now they have 2 kills to 0. This time, importantly, the gold going on the mid laner.
Yeah, and Palafox needs to get fed in this game for them to have reliable DPS later on, with Jhin being so far back, Sion being a brick wall who doesn't really do that much damage, so the kill's going over in exactly the right place early. And XU looks like he's trying to set up some control at Drake. Nice that they got 2 control wards out of the way, but that was probably their turn, and now they have to reset.
Yeah, Seo saw FBI alone because Ignar was clearing some wards. Hits the Q, but ult from B-Void goes a little wide, Chain of Corruption dodge. So good sidestep from FBI. Dignitas are not going to just start up the Dragon, and in fact, XU seemed like he wasn't even confident enough to just stick around immediately on the Scuttle.
I mean, Contracts took a couple Void Grubs. Looks like he just did 2 of them rather than 3 because he wanted to make his way down to Drake.
Yeah, don't even give the information to your opponent where you were. There's a ward that should just spot Contracts here.
But it's really hard to contest this Drake. They don't have good vision on River, and the bot wave is pushed in. Contracts also on vision, but might just brute force his way in here. He's got to watch out.
I'm just going to say, knowing Contracts, I've never seen a Dragon he didn't think he could just steal. Flash over the wall from Ignar with the ult. Dredgeline back out of Contracts. Palafox with the second ult onto his ex-jungler. Gets the kill again. Zinni, meanwhile, trying to equalize. B-Boy will get that kill credit, but Dignitas get another in the pit, and we'll look at the Dragon afterwards. Big win for Dig.
Huge win. Yes, B-Boy technically has a bit of a grudge match with Palafox because they were teammates too, but not for as long as Contracts Palafox.
Doesn't count.
So that's
4
like,
years.
What's one step below ultimate? That's just grudge match kill.
That was 1 ult from Contracts onto Palafox, though. So keep the counter in mind.
True.
That's the first one.
They're targeting each other right here. But, I mean, that's the CC chain, right? Nautilus into Jhin, into ultimate. Flashless Contracts, but he does buffer the ult with his own ult. Keeps him alive for a fraction of a second longer. And then it's really Zinni who did the work there, and B-Boy is the one who ends up getting the last hit. But crucially, the Drake does go over to Dig, which extends their early game lead.
And I gotta say, this grudge match is delivering right now. That is twice that Palafox has been able to pull it off, and this time he gets a MasterCard Power Spike as well. You talked about how important gold on him. 2 kills. That's a first very early item.
Yeah, crazy that Zinni's only 113 gold down, though. Looks like Zinni's been able to get 2 plates for himself, so equalizing some of that kill gold already. And Ignar's got to clear that ward. XU is not spotted, but I imagine Zinni's going to be playing very cautiously.
Yeah, you got to play it back in the situation. Does also have the first item as FBI getting chased down by Seos. This time the Chain of Corruption will land. Has to flash to safety. Summoner spell down. Dignitas have a couple members hovering around on the bottom side. Now Ignar will look for the
nice
line.
hook.
Lands it onto Seos. There were a lot of minions around, but he snipes it regardless. Now B-Boy's in some trouble. The ultimate comes through from the Nautilus, and he will get 1 kill traded. Maybe B-Boy can get 2. A double kill for both teams. Number advantage to Dig. Well played, B-Boy.
Wow. Attack speed Varus with the surprise damage. It comes out more consistently rather than as bursty. So huge amounts of gold go back to B-Boy. I feel like even though they managed to get 2 kills on that gank, it's not going to be worth it whatsoever. So the origin of this play was pretty much just them trying to get the summoner spells out of FBI. Never really feel like that's going to kill. Now the turn happens, right? Interestingly enough, Jarvan never ults. I want to track to see if they could have bursted B-Boy a little bit faster and maybe prevented these kills. So XU probably just feels like they're all dead. Doesn't ult.
Oh.
I feel like if you ult right away, at least one of those kills doesn't happen.
Yeah, that is tough to see. And also, they didn't quite chain the CC with the knockups. The depth charge landed while he was in the air from the flag and drag. But regardless, that's a well-played bot lane counterplay from B-Boy. 3-2-0 now with Bork completed and getting towards that Cole completed as well. Fudge even roams all the way bot side here. Walked down to back up the push on the bottom turret and will TP back top now.
Yeah, he's not going to get stats credit for that, but that pretty much denied a whole wave from FBI.
And we actually just TP'd the Scion bot side. Photon says, all right, no Mbessa, I will capitalize. Palafox 1v1ing Zinni on the side and losing it. Zinni's got big damage with perfect execution. Meanwhile, Ignar will be the first to fall for Dig. Again, Photon trying his best to keep his carry alive. FBI will trade back on a B-Boy. Zinni chases Palafox all the way down, while Seos trying to get to safety. XU, no Cataclysm, means that the Braum is out of there. What a turn from Shopify Rebellion yet again.
What an absolute battle. Fudge also getting a bunch of plates on the top lane because now there's no teleport to match him up there. So he's going to get a bunch of gold off of this. XU.
Ooh, Seos going for a back in his own jungle, thinking he's safe, but actually he does have contracts in his back pocket. XU thought maybe that was just the Braum alone, has to flash away now, does not even get the kill.
Sure, why not? So Fudge gets the whole turret off of this. I think that ends up actually being a positive play. That was the goofiest fight, man, because we kept zooming out, and I understand why. We wanted to see the kill of Zinni onto Palafox. He's just rotating his shuriken over and over again, slowly walking Palafox down. Like, you feel like Palafox would have been one shot on the left side here right away. But now move your attention to the right, which I didn't do the first time. It's just everyone in a big little clump, and you can't
back to live.
That.
Okay, B-Boy's just caught out in his own jungle. Shopify Rebellion do have multiple members to try and turn it around, though. Palafox will fall. Seos stands strong as Dignitas went deep into Shopify territory to find that kill, and will trade a 1-for-2, as that's a double picked up by Zinni.
I don't know why they were there, how they got there. I don't think it matters.
They were hunting contracts. I'm going to call it right there. Palafox said, give me one more.
True, potentially. Yeah. It ends up that's really bad for Palafox. If the Akali gets ahead of the Azir here, now that the role quests are completed and the mid laners are moving to side lanes, it becomes really hard for Palafox to farm. He was in a pretty good state before this, but now that Zinni has been able to kind of pick up these kills in these skirmishes that were just erupting around the map, that's going to be tilting for Palafox. So I think Palafox played a good laning phase, but now Zinni is opening up quite a lead, has the Gunblade, and he's going to make it really hard for Palafox to play.
This is my favorite type of League of Legends, though, chat. I think we're starting off a big Sunday of games with a banger here. We got 15 kills in under 15 minutes, and I don't think it's going to slow down. These teams know that their tournament lives are on the line. The LCS lock-in Swiss Stage ends today, and one of these teams is guaranteed out of here. Both of them showed up to fight.
For sure. Loser is out. Winner will have to play at the end of the day. If Dig wins, they play TL. If Shopify wins, they play LYON. And we have a Drake starting with the pressure that they have bought in mid lane. I feel like Dig is probably just going to let this one go and hope for a better fight later.
Photon went all the way topside, does not have the teleport. Fudge was hovering mid, so numbers advantage for Shopify Rebellion, and a Dragon secured to boot. Plus a 2,000 gold lead. They're starting to get the early game in their favor. They're running away with this game just slightly.
And Zinni with a good start to this game. A lot of chatter about him in the first 2 weeks because super hyped to replace Palafox and fix Shopify, but his first 4 games haven't been that good. Need to remind you, Quid's first 4 games, also really bad.
Yeah.
So I will say, when you are a young international player playing in your second language, sometimes your first 4 games aren't that good, even if you are a good player. Just throwing that out there.
Quid has had MVP performances. He's won championships. Like, Quid has shown us what he's capable of since joining the league, despite those early 4 rough games. I was hoping Zinni would have a similar trajectory, because if we're being honest, he looked like the worst mid lane in the league if you just look at his last game's performances.
Sure.
And this is a great start, 3-0-1. Rift Herald now started out by Shopify Rebellion. Remember, they got the 2 grubs earlier. They've picked up a dragon, and they're going to get this one uncontested as well. It seems like Dignitas' confidence, or at least their timing, is not quite enough to stop Shopify Rebellion from stacking these objectives.
I think they're in actually a really bad game state at the moment, mainly because Palafox is no longer stronger than Zinni. Don't love the team composition when you look at game states like this, where if the Azir falls behind of the Akali, which often happens, how do you actually play? Because Photon's not going to get push on the Ambessa, Azir's not going to get push on the Akali, and then Jhin Nautilus can't win 2v2 into Varus Braum. Are you better 5v5? Maybe,
yeah,
if you really get, but how do you set up a 5v5 when you can't push any lanes?
Yeah, and also how do you execute with your, now Fudge has to execute here. As XU jumps on top of him, Photon saving up that Q, will not get the knock-up yet. Fudge trying to stay alive as long as possible, but will fall Photon with the kill credit.
So they end up getting 450 gold plus assists for that, but look what it's going to cost them. Zinni gets the last plate as well as that turret. That's probably more gold, and they drop the Herald mid. That's another turret. Look, positive play.
Yeah, 2.5k now.
Good death.
Good death right there. And it seems like Dignitas, they are still trying to find some of these plays, but the early aggression that we saw, the invading the jungle, the trying to push into, or rather defend against their own invades, not quite seeing those plays right now, as Shopify Rebellion are getting some deep vision down to Dignitas' side. Contracts will jump over the wall. Chain of Corruption lands onto Ignar. Harder to pick the Nautilus as he dredge lines to safety, so one ult used, and still Ignar is out safe.
Absolutely, everyone just going to reset. Feel like Shopify just wants to try and keep waves deeply pushed. We got 2 minutes until the next Chemdrake. As you can see, Palafox kind of mid lane, but he's a little bit homeless because the Jhin needs to be mid lane. So now Palafox is just going to be catching waves on the safe side wherever the Akali isn't. But as you can see, Palafox already moving top lane. Akali's going to be moving in that direction as well, and Vi might even be shadowing. So just kind of pointing out the macro plays why I don't even necessarily think this is Palafox's fault. I think Palafox played a good laning phase, but in this game, the composition as well as who got gold from the skirmishes is really working against him.
And when you look at a lot of the threats on the side of Shopify Rebellion side, it's going to be hard for an Azir to play this. You have an Ambessa ulting you, a Vi ulting you, and a Kali getting on top of you. Varus throwing damage on you from long range. Really, really tough to actually play these team fights if they're even able to find them, which, based on game state, they have not been able to do so far.
And XU's doing what he has to. He actually needs to be there so that Palafox can even touch that wave. Otherwise, Zinni was going to sneak through that bush and kill him. So all this time being invested by Jarvan in the top side just so Palafox can farm. Now they might hope to catch Zinni being a little aggressive as soon as Varus shows on mid, and if they see the jungler as well, they're just going to go all in.
They do have 3 people here. Contract's going for an invade on the other side, so Dignitas have 3 members onto Zinni. The shuffle lands out of the smoke screen to line up the Nautilus ult. Zinni, with the outplay, is he able to get away? The perfect execution to safety. Oh, beautiful from Shopify's mid laner.
Well played by Zinni. XU,
he still could look for it. Zinni is going for a back in a very confident spot, but not punished.
I guess XU just didn't think he'd do that.
Yeah,
he didn't like he would have hit the jungle or something. Because I guess he already had Flag and Drake, but he could have walked over, smote, delayed his recall a little bit more. But they'd already spent so much tempo on that play, they do want to reset eventually, and he is out.
Yeah. But still, well played from Zinni. It looked dire when the Azir shuffles use away, then the depth charge, point and click CC, but he gets back to the smoke screen and is able to get out with the shuriken flip and perfect execution. So I still think I want to go back to the point that we were thinking about, okay, is it time for the Orianna? Is it time for these more safe traditional picks for Zinni? And no, he's pulling out the Akali and he's looking very, very good. This is night and day difference from the Zinni that we saw the last 2 weekends.
For sure. And for what it's worth, once the Jarvan's locked in, if you have Orianna Varus against Jarvan Orianna, not great. But as soon as you have Akali and Ambessa Vi, suddenly it feels like you're not getting locked down. I don't feel like Dig can contest this. They use too many ultimates top lane. So if Shopify get any type of flank, which they can get with a push mid lane, they can probably win this fight.
Dragon is up, and now the engage starts from Ignar onto Seos. It's a Portal Combat, but there is damage around it. Meanwhile, XU's trying to stop Fudge on the flank. Fudge gets on him, and in goes Contracts onto the backline. Palafox tries to shuffle away. XU's buying some space. Palafox unleashing damage in the fight. The Azir with a double kill, and B-Boy tries to get one more and will fall for the effort. Palafox holds his ground.
What a fight! Turnaround there by Palafox. The start was not that pretty because if they commit too deep into the river, they will all get flanked, but they managed to retreat to a really tight zone on the map where Palafox just got to multi-hit.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
Okay, Bessa.
Watch Akali. No. Look at Akali, guys. Akali dead.
Ambessa. Look.
Big. Guys,
Cut it.
shut the fuck up, nice right now.
Nice.
Looking
Good
Varus.
guy, yeah.
I also noticed a triple knock-up from Photon Scion Q mid-fight. Huge tunnel vision there by Shopify Rebellion. I think they had ultimate grudge batch mole in their head. Must kill Palafox. He ends up doing 5,000 damage to their team.
Yeah, Contracts heard about how many times he was supposed to ult Palafox this game and said, bet I can do one more. Zinni looks to get onto Ignar. Now the depth charge will go out. Contracts in his back pocket means that Palafox cannot go in and finish the kill. But Zinni took a big chunk there. He's still playing confidently, but we can see that if they go too far, if you play too deep into Dignitas' side of the map, you can get punished still.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't flank that Azir, he is going to shred you. Also, if you stand in place and Sion gets 3 people in a full charge queue,
Not advised?
it's also going to turn the fight around.
Ah, okay, noted for future solo
I think
queue.
they've learned.
Yeah,
I think Shopify's adapted to that. We'll see.
Well, I also want to credit FBI there and the comms listening. I love it when we get to hear the players. He was so clear saying, okay, watch Akali, watch Akali. Akali dead, now go in, you know? Then everyone started celebrating once the knockup came through and they knew they were winning the fight as the red buff stolen away again. Contracts has a personal vendetta against that one. Zinni lands a shuriken flip and the blast cone, but Palafox gets out. Were you hoping for one more vial?
No, I was hoping he just takes it in.
Oh, yeah.
Just for action, it would have been a super in play. I also say FBI has damage now. Once you get that Infinity Edge on the Jhin, you're no longer a little low damage, long range guy. Your bullets really start hurting. So if he just opens up at the back of team fights and lands anything onto B-Boy or Zinni, he can start taking them from half health to nothing. And
this isn't the type of comp where, as a Jhin player, you're thinking, okay, I only have like 2 people I can hit. Realistically, you're going to be doing decent damage to everybody except for maybe Braum while his shield's up. These are not true tank front lines that are stacking armor, so Jhin actually will be pumping damage here, despite the fact that that last fight, B-Boy's damage was off the charts. He was trying his best to, you know, team fight carry there, but as the game goes on, the Jhin will still be a threat.
Yep, Varus gonna want to keep building up those attack speed items, but a pretty short-range team composition overall for Shopify, so they need to be able to keep those side lanes pushed for these
X-Flash!
fights.
Dredge line onto Seos, throws up the shield. Chain of Corruption response from B-Boy, but Seos is locked down. Use the W, and now Contracts locked into the Cataclysm. Palafox and Zinni, meanwhile, 1v1 in the mid lane yet again as Fudge goes in with Contracts, trying to get onto FBI, can't kill him. Exu will fall. Palafox held his own against Zinni, as now the curtain has been called. Fudge is still in there. Shopify's solo laner has tried his best. Palafox goes into the Saces. Dredge line again onto Fudge. Ignar cannot miss those. Photon on a killing spree.
Another fight goes barely in favor of Dignitas, and they actually pull their way back ahead with the engage onto the Braum. It seemed like it took them half the fight just to kill Seos.
Look at how long he lives for.
I mean, Akali's top lane when this fight actually begins. Seos is dead by the time he teleports in. Palafox and Zinni do their own little thing up top, so they're not really involved in this fight. Really well played there. I'd say Photon and FBI working together. Sion actually giving appropriate peel for his carries. And then Fudge nearly hero play here. Dodges every shot from the Jhin. And then ends up not being able to get the kill on a Palafox and falling.
And also at one moment there, Exu goes in, flag and drag onto B-Boy, full health, thinking, okay, we can turn, but they just killed the Braum, and there weren't more cooldowns available from the team. So at least Shopify Rebellion were able to get one. End of the day, though, Dignitas do still hold just a tiny little gold lead. 500 in their favor, despite having 6 more kills. It's the power of taking turrets on the side of Shopify Rebellion, as now Dignitas, same spot, are just trying to catch Seos again. They will get that Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, we want this line bush. It is our line bush. Do not go in there if you're
You don't cross the line, okay?
Sion will ult you.
Our side.
This is a very group-heavy game, I would say. Shopify, they really want to get these side waves pushing so that they get good flank angles in team fights, but that's why Photon, he just needs to be really efficient with his time when he's in mid lane like that, and he has been in these last 2 engagements, but with that failed engage, it does give Shopify a little bit of time to reset these side waves and get push.
One thing that is in favor of Shopify there is that Palafox had to use the Seeker's Arm Guard to survive Fudge, so he will not have that tool, but does still have Flash. FBI doesn't have Flash. I'm looking at the Dragon coming up in 5 seconds, thinking that some of the carries are a little more susceptible to the dive for this fight if Shopify are able to get on Palafox, if they're able to get on FBI.
And again, difficult approach for Dignitas. They will have to use their Sion's tankiness in order to create space here. Just walks right into that line bush, pushes Seos out.
Every time I see Seos in that spot, I get a little concerned. As now it's Fudge that everyone turns on to. FBI and Exu doing big damage to him. Ignar holding the line so the team cannot back him up. Fudge trying his absolute best to survive it, but FBI goes on a rampage. 3.5 item Jhin, pumping out the damage. And now it's a numbers advantage for Dignitas, and they're looking for more. Ult in on to Seos. The Braum's locked down. He's got the shield up. Zinni's threatening a flank, but he's spotted by XU and Palafox. Seos does get out. Operation Save the Support successful for the Rebels. As Dignitas still have a numbers advantage, they look at the Dragon.
Yeah, we're 27 minutes in. These death timers are long, so Fudge is going to be out for a while. Makes this Drake uncontestable. Fudge just gets picked off. The Jhin ends up with a nice little snare after XU finds him. I mean, Fudge was trying a pretty crazy flank angle. And now they get one more Drake, puts themselves on soul point, and it's time to redeploy and wait for the next one.
In moments like that, I love watching where the jungler is, because XU's a jungler that will do this. A traditional jungler, when your team sent out for the Dragon, will be with the team. They have the control wards. But no, he wrapped around the top line brush, and I don't think Fudge expected a J4 to be flag and dragging onto him from that angle.
Yeah, definitely not. 4 deaths now for Fudge, 1-4-1 versus the 3-0-5 Sion. We've definitely seen a couple of good Sion performances yesterday and today. Impact had the super brick wall Sion in like a 40 kill game, 0 deaths. This one, it's a 25 kill game. Photon, 0 deaths as well. They're just being that front line and not dying.
Also, just want to give a little nod to Ignar there. Just stone cold backing on the blast cone, does not care that Contracts is charging a Q right by him. He's like, bet, yeah, come at me, try it.
Got a protoplasm harness as well.
Yeah.
Supports with the higher income. I love seeing the way these builds change now. So just a little bit of an A tankiness rather than going supportive, like no Knight's Vow, no Zeeks for more alts. Nope, just he's going to be flying in. There's going to be a lot of damage coming back at him, and he needs a little bit of extra tankiness.
Yeah, with the extra health stacking of XU as well, there's 3 health bars that Shopify have to get through. B-Boy did go for the Blade of the Ruin King first item, so he's trying his best to chew through those. And this is a lot of HP that you get out of this one. As a support main myself, I like this item being in the game. It's really fun to pick up on things like Nautilus, things like Braum.
Yeah, every time you got a little bit of extra gold and you know you need like an extra frontline game, pick it up. Otherwise, I'd go with something like Bandle Pipes if you have a lot of attack speed people. But here, who cares about the pipes? Nobody cares about the Bandle Pipes this game.
B-Boy might.
Get the harness.
B-Boy might be like, maybe next time?
I'm surprised Seos doesn't have the pipes.
Yeah.
To be fair. I think he should be Pipes Locket or Pipes Vow.
And the Knight's Vow would make more sense if you're Ignar, because you're like, okay, there's an Akali and a Vi and an Ambessa trying to kill my carry, but there's not a lot of people trying to dive B-Boy for Seos to be protecting here.
Especially attack speed Varus would really love the Bandle Pipes.
All that's just min-maxing, though. It all comes down to execution, and so far, it feels like Dignitas, they executed well in the early game. There were a couple fumbles in more of that transition to mid, but for the last couple of minutes, they have had control 3 dragons to 1, and now the Baron Vision dance begins. Clearing out the control wards that Shopify put down, making sure that everyone's grouped together, catching the side waves, doing your due diligence.
I mean, they're playing like a veteran team, Dignitas right now, because the game, after Zinni had those 3 early kills and was about 1,500 gold up on the Azir, and the Ambessa was stronger than the Sion at the time, Dignitas had no positive plays to make. So they just stood their ground, they caught waves where they could, and then they approached objectives and just went for those team fights every 5 minutes, because it's the only time they'd really be able to generate positive plays. But they've completely minimized the negative plays, and they've capitalized when they could to now be in control of the game again.
And we're at that point in the game where you'll see less all-out action because the death timers are so long, and the Dragon Soul fight is going to become that pivotal moment. So Shopify Rebellion, it's about getting gold into your carry's pocket so that you can contest that. There's a lot of gold in the pockets right now of the Dignitas laners. Palafox has 3 items completed and has that Zonia's now, plus summoner spells on pretty much everybody. So in a minute and a half time, this is going to be an all-out bombastic team fight. Every tool is available. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now.
I mean, remember the stakes here. Ultimate grudge match. Palafox, 4 years with contracts, all of last year with Shopify. Leaves the team, goes to Dignitas, and neither team has a good start. But can Palafox take them down to eliminate his former team, or will Shopify be able to eliminate Palafox? Fudge is looking for a flank, and again, Dignitas just noticed that there's a little bit of danger. Back away.
Yeah.
Looks like he might have TP'd out there.
It's Zinni, actually, on the Akali that was pushing up on that top side. So Zinni got the turret plates. He walks up, gets a full wave under there. Now Photon will start to catch that. The side lanes have been pushed in Shopify's favor.
Yep.
They have the team that can instant just kind of like pull that trigger button with things like Ambessa and Vi ult. and they have the confidence to push these waves forward. Dignitas have been kind of catching them. But now with Dragon coming up in 40 seconds, we're at that point where you're going to have to start TPing Photon down there if he's constantly trying to catch his wave, because Zinni is not letting him just kind of equalize this right now.
Yeah, well, he does have TP. He's also got 1,600 bonus shielding from his W, so he's a 5,400 health, 360 armor Scion. So he's not dying quickly, even if B-Boy's attack speed Varus. You know, without those Bandle Pipes, just speed things up.
Bandle Pipes would be the difference.
I'm a little surprised he didn't go for like a Dusk and Dawn or something, because he really needs damage, but he does want the extra durability from the Guardian Angel. So Drake up in 4 seconds, and Dig again control the river. Let's see if they can get Soul.
Ooh, charge Scion Q. B-Boy almost walked into it. Had the GA, but you don't want it to pop before the Dragon fight. Also a GA on Contracts, also a GA on XU. So watch for the all-ins, watch for the catch here as Palafox gets onto Zinni in the Shroud, but doesn't get over the wall. Palafox on a killing spree as Dig catch one member out before the fight starts. Now they're looking for another. Contracts will XU in place, GA pop. Meanwhile, Ignor's holding the line for Palafox, fighting Seos and B-Boy on the flank. XU gets to safety, Fudge has to flash, and Shopify Rebellion get decimated at the Dragon, losing 2 members. Dignitas win the fight and will get the objective.
Palafox with the potentially game-winning play. This will secure them the Dragon Soul. They knew they just need to find the flanker. They see Zinni. Palafox, no hesitation, flies in, gets the knockback, and they manage to execute him to make the fight not even close. That's going to be Soul, that's going to be Baron, and that's going to be a commanding lead for Dignitas.
And Zinni in that moment, it's a tough one. Hopefully we can get a look at a replay. He had tools to try and get over the wall. He's in the Shroud, but he doesn't flash. He's not able to get the perfect execution over the wall, and he's locked down. So Dignitas find the pick, and now they get rewarded. Dragon Soul plus Baron, and a 2,000 gold lead at 34 minutes.
Palafox has got to be feeling pretty good right now with the lead in this game. Let's watch this one more time. Yes, he's in the Shroud.
Oh, yeah, he just fails the ult over the wall. He had, again, flash. He had so many tools to get out of there. He's jumping into multiple members of Dig, so who knows if he survives, but...
Yeah, GA gets burned on Contracts as well. XU ends up flying out of the fight without having his GA proc. Ignar got the extra healing from the Protoplasm harness, so everything really went the way of Dig in that fight.
Yeah, you can see Zinni on screen there. Tough position to be in. Maybe Shopify find a pick on Ignar. He's actually walking forward. Didn't have a lot of members around him, but now they're just looking into Fudge in the river. Ignar on his own. Shopify Rebellion with 3 members nearby. He's got his top lane coming in, but Ignar does fall. B-Boy with the kill credit. And now there's a scrap down here as Zinni again goes in and again almost burns down. Will live long enough. XU will claim it. Photon goes into the stasis. Contracts trying to get onto FBI. Palafox looks for the shuffle, not going to land it. Goes into stasis himself as Contracts is out of there. Palafox on touch. FBI says, where you going? Thought we were here to party. B-Boy gets huge chug. Palafox TP's mid. Trying to stop it as a shutdown for B-Boy. What is going on? Contracts gets back in. The Guardian Angel comes through. FBI will not fall. B-Boy lands the Q on the Palafox for the shutdown. An absolute slaughterfest. 1 member lives. FBI stands tall.
What did we just see? They had the Baron. It looked like they had the picks at the start of the fight to end the game. Ultimately, they did win the fight 5 for 3, but what? So, okay, the start, Dig is styling a little bit. They have the Chem Soul, so Ignar thinks he can survive, but he goes down early. Fudge actually escapes, and then Zinni makes a miraculous escape into ulting away, so he does end up dying to the flag.
Yeah.
I need to see what happens with Palafox. I think Palafox thinks the fight is over, so he goes to teleport onto the mid wave to like end the game.
What happens to his health
So he doesn't have vision of B-Boy. Yeah, he wants to end the game.
Corruption.
He lost object permanence of B-Boy. No. He thought he was just gone.
That was just TP channel.
He was just trying to end the game. He thought the fight was over. Then he tries to come back to the fight and dies to
That's
B-Boy.
crazy. B-Boy had the control ward in the line brush, and he just held his ground. He sees Palafox TPing in front of him, and then still gets the Q onto him.
Oh, man. DeMonte.
Oh, my gosh.
Sometimes that's all you can say.
Do you even explain that to your team? Just be like, my bad.
Yep.
Or do you be like, so guys, I did teleport mid-wave while Varus was on my screen.
Yeah.
He wasn't on my screen when I started the TP, but he was in the bush.
Yeah, he was within auto attack range of me. B-Voy, we gotta look at the damage. B-Voy did all of Photon's health bar almost on his own. Basically one-shots Palafox while he's trying to TP. He had a tiny little health bar when that TP landed. B-Voy has been putting on a carry performance right now to keep Shopify Rebellion in this game, but it might not be enough because Dig, despite that, they still had FBI survive with a triple kill. They still have a gold lead. They still have the Dragon Soul. So
yeah,
Dignitas still have control of this game, even if the fights are getting a little wacky.
But Baron's gone, Elder's up in 2 minutes, and the item builds are getting higher and higher in damage. So the more items you get, the less the soul matters, generally speaking. We have a nearly item capped FBI with 9 kills on the Jhin. 15,000 damage in a single team fight.
Total damage last team fight. That's more than most of my solo Q8 carries do in a game.
Yeah, this will be fun. He's against the Scion and the Nautilus, who are just like health bar merchants for sure, especially the Protoplasm Harness moving itself back up, but that's still insane. B-Boy's had a couple really crack games. I remember the playoff Ezreal performance he had last year where he did 1,850 damage per minute. That was before all this goldflation we have in 2026 with the 7th item.
Yeah.
But it's still incredible. It's not really.
No?
Yeah, I feel like it's, 10,000 gold leads don't mean what they used to.
Remember when a pop was 25 cents? You just like put a quarter in, get a...
You don't remember when that happened.
I do.
I don't think that's when you were alive.
I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't name brand, but yeah.
Okay. It was like a Costco soda, like RC Cola.
Is that like the local grocery store? Yeah.
That still doesn't seem true.
I swear.
Okay.
Hand on heart.
Yeah.
Dignitas right now still with that control and the Dragon Soul in 30 seconds. Shopify have a last opportunity to turn this game around. They're fighting into a gold deficit of 2K and the Dragon Soul, but if they can find a member picked out, rather than getting picked themselves, because it's kind of back-to-back plays that they've been the ones getting picked out, there's still a chance, but it's going to be tough.
It's a little tricky. Dick would want to just start the Elder, but if they all group up in the pit, that's when they're most vulnerable to the flank. So they want to try and do what they've done in the previous fights where they're just around the river, but they're the ones that find the flanker and they try and engage on him.
All their vision's gone, though. Dignitas are walking into a very dark river right now as Shopify Rebellion have Zinni and I believe Contracts was up there on the flank on the top half. Fudge is threatening on the bottom side. Here we go. Shopify Rebellion, they see that the Elder started. The inverse is true. The lines of vision have been drawn on opposite sides of that river. Zinni does see XU and FBI. Big chunk from XU onto Zinni. One auto. Just the first one is now the engage comes through here. Big lockdown on the Contracts. He's in trouble. Ignore has to flash away. Fudge gets out of the backline. Stops FBI's ultimate from going through. XU locks down Zinni. They got him. The Akali's out of there. FBI with his 10th kill. And a Dignitas team fight that's looking one. B-Boy's trying his best on the Palafox, but a double kill to FBI. Stasis for Palafox. Flash away. Kill the B-Boy. Shopify Rebellion did not find their flank. Dignitas get a triple kill to FBI and crush the team fight.
That'll be the end of it, and this time Palafox waits for B-Boy to die before teleporting mid lane, crucially, and it's going to allow them to end the game.
Fool me once. Won't be fooled again, Jad.
He was pretty low on this TP, too.
Yeah, I would say about the same as Dignitas look to draw first blood in this ultimate grudge match bowl. It's a best of 3, but picking up a game 1 win feels pretty good as Seos is the only member left alive to try and hold the line, but he's just going to be padding the stats of Dignitas if they want it. Palafox is low. Do they want to go for the turret dive, the fountain dive? No, Dignitas are all business. They'll take a clean game 1 win.
FBI ends 12-1-12, insane scoreline, but I feel like Palafox was making the big plays in this one. Swoop after scoop onto Contracts, now 1 game away from eliminating his former team.
Tough to call player of the game of that one, but that's for the lounge.
And this is a team who, even though they struggled mightily in regular season last year, 41% overall win rate in games, did finish split 2 and 3 in the top 3.
Yeah.
So they had good clutch factor when it mattered, currently sitting at a 0-5 game score, wanting to avoid getting 2-0'd by Palafox-led Dignitas.
If you had asked me going into this year if I expected Shopify to go winless and Dignitas to be the team that 2-0's them on the way out, I would have probably laughed at you, if I'm being honest. Not my expectation
now
at
people
all.
will laugh at you because you put Shopify #1 in your power rankings,
Although,
Kangas.
and nobody asked me yet today, I would have predicted Dignitas to win this because DeMonte specifically told me last week, you got to stop rooting for us, bud. And I was like, all right, I'll take that to heart. I'll root for the other guy then. Because I think in a way, this team, like, we haven't seen the cohesion come together. In a way, I'm missing some of that heart. Where's the heart that they showed last year, that fight in the clutch moments? They were the team that lost a bunch of games, but won the important ones. This is the most important game right now, Shopify. You have to win 3 in a row to make it to bracket stage, 2 in this series, 1 in the best of 1 after.
Yes, this Ryze is a flex pick. Fudge has played plenty of Ryze in the top lane, but that's what the Ultimate Grudge Match Bowl is, man. 2 teams enter. 1 definitely leaves. Both might leave, depending on the results at the end of the day.
Yes, a reminder that if Shopify win, they have LYON ahead of them. If Dignitas get 1 more game, they have Team Liquid ahead of them, who have also
best
shown
of 1 decider to see who makes it. So if Dignitas knocks it, if Palafox and Dignitas knock out Shopify and TL in the same day, holy
If
crap.
TL and Shopify are the 2 teams that don't make it, all the power rankings. And I'm going to put everybody that put TL first in my same category.
Fair. No,
At that
that's
point,
fair.
Those are the 2 that did make it. That'd be crazy.
You're going to bring everyone down with you.
Yeah, yeah, that's my strat, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. Talia and Yanara locked in here for Dignitas. And it's going to be Lucian Nami, quick locked in for Shopify Rebellion. Heavy focus on this bottom side. It can win lanes, but it can also scale very well into the game. And that means Lulu plus Yanara.
Yeah, so Dignitas trying to match Enchanter with Enchanter. I will say I'm a big fan of B-Boy Seos Lucian Nami. I think they are really good on it. And I believe Seos' all-time win rate on Nami is also very high.
I know that B-Boy, this was like one of the most played champions. It was Lucian and it was Ezreal were like his top 2 throughout last year. So something that they are very comfortable with. And I think when your backs are against the wall, going back to comfort also can be a recipe for success. That means that we're going to have junglers and top laners, though, for the second rotation here. As Photon's had a fantastic split so far. Even in all their losses, I felt like Photon individually, I never saw him really lose lane. He was always ahead individually, and now he just kind of did that again into Fudge. Like, Fudge did not have a great game 1, and meanwhile, Photon, I don't know if I believe he died 1 time, maybe twice, but he went deathless for a large portion of that game and was just a wall.
I mean, really good Scion play, which is exactly what the team needed. A lot of times, Photon is a little bit of a win lane player, and then the team falls apart around him, but this time he was a neutralized lane player, and then he brought the team with him in team fights, which is ultimately what you need to do.
But this time around, we'll not get to play Scion for Photon. Also banning away things like the Zahin, the Malphite, the Wukong, and the Gwen on the other side. So some jungle, some top lane picks. Saving counter pick for Photon. He's got a very unique champ pool, especially when it comes to AP champions. The Gwen is his favorite. He's played things like Kennen as well. So I do love saving counter pick for Photon. I think it's a great tool for Dignitas, and they're going to do just that. Zinja for XU.
And I think they're also kind of forced into it since this Ryze is a flex pick for Shopify. They need to see their best guess of where these laners will be going. I think it's a bit of a tough game for something like a Gwen or a Kennen just because it's a lot of AP, but you know Xin Yunara can probably balance it out, so he'll be able to pick really whatever he wants to win the lane. And with K'Sante locked in, that's a Ryze mid.
Ryze mid, K'Sante top, Kiana in the jungle. High execution assassin 80 jungler. Contracts does like this pick. We've seen it already. I remember week 1 we saw a Kiana. I believe it's Hambach.
Yeah, we've seen 2 Kianas. Hambach and Griffin have both played it.
There we go, yep. So not new to the LCS, but not one of the most popular picks. I do like seeing it, and it is going to be Poppy as the counter pick for Photon. So just accepting that handshake of tank matchups with Poppy. Very strong against a lot of the dashes, things like Lucian, Kiana, and even K'Sante. It's going to be hard to get through that steadfast presence.
I think it's a really good pick for the game. They already have Enchanter and a lot of damage. They succeeded with him on a tank last game. And when played well, the Poppy does beat the K'Sante. It's a counter pick if you've really studied the matchup. So we'll see how Photon can do in this game. And I really love it against K'Sante, Kiana, and Lucian to be able to engage and disengage.
And you're against, Kiana as a jungler topside. I guess he's still probably building mostly health early against K'Sante. You're not really worried about like damage there, but yeah, we'll see what the build goes for Photon. I just trust this guy in anything. I'm turning into Photon's #1 believer. on the broadcast. Every time I get to cast games, I've casted every Dignitas game actually so far this year. I feel like Photon, just the amount of decisions I've seen him make and the amount of times that he has saved his team from a specific play that was about to go wrong, he's just impressed me so much. Even though the team had been winless up to this point, this is the first game win that they're coming off of. I still just think that getting him something that he can have agency on, really, really good for Dignitas across the whole.
For sure, this is where Dignitas wants to begin their rise in the early season pros that Palafox was on. He said the team's goal was to go to Worlds. That's what he thinks this team is capable of doing. That is not what most other people think, but the beginning of that would be if he can 2-0 his former team Shopify here and eliminate them from lock-in.
Game 2 of Shopify Rebellion versus Dignitas, and a rare early 4-champ invade down bot side here.
Also, both wards from Shopify used already in lane. Wow. They really want to battle over lane prio with Lucian Nami here.
You know what this tells me is I feel like something must have happened in the scrim at some point between Shopify and Dignitas when they see something like this. It's very rare to see both used, and they're still scrapping right now as B-Boy and Seos actually get more damage onto FBI right there. Yunara is sneakily strong with the passive early on and Arc of Judgment, but not going to go for the early all-in trades.
Yeah, but huge fist fighting. That's heal burn from Nami. That's barrier burn from FBI. Actually, I love it. Carries using barrier for early
heal
trades.
Early from Ignar, and FBI just pushes further onto B-Void. These two are scrapping for that early push, and it is FBI and Ignar. They get the better of it.
Well, interesting though, XU starting bot side, so he'll be pathing up, and then Shopify is going to have their jungler pathing down towards them. But also note that Shopify used all their wards in lane, so they actually are not really able to push up much further because they'd be in danger of a gank. They have no eyes on where B-Boy or XU would have started.
And when a bot lane's playing this aggressively, warning bells are going off, like, okay, something's up maybe. As FBI does hit level 2 earlier, B-Boy now level 2. And the push will continue. So I wonder when Dignitas decide to back off, if they decide to back off, because without their jungler on their side of the map, it's really a bluff if they keep playing aggressive, and there's always the real chance that contracts could look to impact the lane.
For sure. Dignitas does have wards, though. They didn't use all of their wards in lane, and they might just be taking a quick reset after shoving in the first few waves. So big fistfights in the bottom lane to try and get early lane prio, but now knowing their jungler is pathing away from them, nice time to reset.
Going in for that early coal buy. You only need those couple first waves to pick that one up. So FBI happy to say, all right, we played the push. Now I'm going to have that advantage. And B-Boy is currently not going for any kind of aggressive push in response here. So it should just be an advantage to FBI. This is almost like I guess this is very similar to top lane cheater recalls. I've seen top laners do this a lot, and now we're seeing AD carries start to do this more often as well.
Yeah, you can definitely recall more this season with the home guard bonus, getting you back to lane faster. So wave pushing back slowly in for Dignitas right now, as their jungler is topside as well, so they're going to be waiting for this to crash regardless, and it's just a matter of how many minions FBI ends up losing while that wave is crashing.
Next, you will get the top crab. Contracts will get the bottom crab, and right as Contracts gets there, the wave's already getting under turret. So Contracts not even in a position to really impact this. B-Boy will now go for a back as FBI is going to try and pick up all of these minions. And there is a ward in there, so Ignar will stop that. B-Boy getting some big damage onto the Lulu, but FBI now says, okay, that's all your cooldowns. I can trade back onto you. Seos, though, keeping B-Boy safe, and that's a lot of health bar missing from FBI and Ignar.
And what a satisfying sound when Yunara has the Q running.
Yeah.
Lane gank, maybe.
Could be from XU.
Rather ambitious, I mean.
Yeah, you really have to look for a flash when becomes lightning maybe to get in range. Otherwise, the moment that you're seeing, all the Shopify Rebellion are walking up. Now XU's shown, and there it is! The flash W onto Seos, response flash, but FBI still has the damage. XU with the first blood, but B-Boy will trade one back. It's a 2-for-1 double kill to XU.
They managed to get 2 kills out of that. Normally, you wouldn't try a lane gank without an engaged support, but that's how much of a psychopath Ignar is. He just walks up, polymorphs into XU, playing the Fog of War brilliantly, actually getting that kill. It's just, the tragic thing is that FBI died, didn't get any of the kill gold, so after all that happens, B-Boy's actually the one ahead in that lane.
And now Contracts is mid. Not going to find an angle on the Palafox who is positioned correctly. Let's get another look at that. Yeah, because it is XU just having to commit flash to start it.
Right when he walks up for a heal trade, XU gets in range for the 3-talent strike, but I mean, FBI following up to get the damage, just gets pelted by B-Boy, so B-Boy did a nice job returning fire. Potentially, FBI needed to not follow through there, but the gank, pretty crazy. Dignitas celebrating that in the back room.
And you know that this is FBI getting that first reset for the Cole, and then B-Boy presumably will want to go for their own reset. They take a rough trade, so now it's almost like B-Boy and Seos were baited into sticking around. But I'm happy that you pointed out B-Boy at the end of the day does still have the Caulfields completed, was able to pick up a lot of that CS and that kill gold. So end of the day, it's going to come down to XU now trying to use that gold influx that he just received around the map to try and utilize this advantage for Dig.
Yeah, I mean, Xin can be really strong in this game. Relatively short range, people attacking him, so we'll be able to immune a lot of damage and be a very difficult tank to kill. I also love Xin with enchanters, weirdly enough, even though a lot of times you just think that the Lulu's for the 80 carry. You can really beef up a Xin with a Lulu.
Remember like Karma mid, Xin Zhao jungle when we used to see stuff like that? Yeah.
Stuff.
Just putting shields and movement speeds on a Xin Zhao can find success. And now a reset comes in from XU. He's going for the back. Let's see what he's able to pick up here. Yep, Caulfield's Tunneler. Almost towards that first item completed already. Double kill and also a little ahead of Contracts in the clear speed. Means that XU is off to the races. As a jungler who has really struggled to like make a name for himself. When I think about XU as a player, I think of, you know, the fact that he had a couple of opportunities to play in LCS, bounced between tier 2, tier 1, but in his time in tier 1 hasn't really had that like big pop-off moment. But started off the year, Smite stealing a Baron from Inspired, you know, winning a team fight at an Elder, things like that. And now with a gold lead here, good start for Dignitas in a must-win series for them. Yeah,
trying to get some river control. Doesn't want to waste too much time down here, but the bot lane is their win condition, and B-Boy and Seos are kind of holding prio on this at the moment. Palafox walks straight over a control ward. Is going to have to clear that out. So it looks like B-Boy and Seos will sniff this one out and be able to stay safe in the bot lane.
Now the Dragon's on the Rift, though. Immediately I start thinking, who will have advantage around that one? Currently, Shopify Rebellion have that push on the bottom side, and Contracts is pathing down here, so they could have a window. B-Boy also hits level 6. Ults are available. Zinni pushes in the wave, and now everyone's coming towards his bottom
try and
side.
dive with Rise Kiana.
Yeah, damage onto FBI. He's already chunked out. Rise Realm Warp can get the Kiana under the turret fast, but now we see Zinni goes back into the mid lane. Meanwhile, a B-Boy throws out the Colin, big damage onto Ignar and FBI. The barriers are used, and now Contracts over the wall sees very low health bar on a level 5 Yanara. FBI and Ignar in a lot of trouble. Ignar will sniff it out, says okay. Contracts in the brush, still gets the kill. Supreme Display of Talent not gonna land. FBI now has the passive up with the W used, and he's all alone under this turret, but Shopify Rebellion will back away. That ult missing from Contracts calls the play off.
Yeah, you need to hit those. Likely could have secured another kill. Now they're going to lose the Drake. I think that was actually really risky what XU did there. His bot lane low, he shows mid, which is what allows Contracts to go for that gank. Doesn't get the kill mid, does burn Zinni's Ghost, and will now let him get the Drake once Contracts burns all his cooldowns. So overall, Dig is okay with this play, but it does put their bot lane in a continually difficult position.
FBI is falling further behind here. About a wave down, and still that kill for B-Boy means that he's got the Sheen completed as Ignar walks in, sees that Contracts is on this bottom camp.
Yeah, fine for a Jhin to fall behind, like last game for FBI, because you can always come back later in the game. Not as fine when it's a Yunara with an Enchanter that needs to be one of your hyper carries in the game. So FBI, on slim margins here, needs to be able to stay in this game as this call gets closer to completion.
Has level 6 available now, so can look to fight a little bit better. Once you have Transcend oneself active, your abilities all get big boosts, but the wave is still pushing in. Meanwhile, XU, he's been focused on the objective, got the Dragon, now going for these the grubs as well, so XU seems to be thinking that the gold lead for himself can now transition into the objective control.
I do like what you were talking about with XU before, though. I want to just get back to that, where you're saying he's had a couple of stints in the LCS and hasn't really had the success that he would love to have.
Let's come back to that there as, ooh, the knock-up lands from the ult, not from the bubble. FBI flashes away, and that is Lulu ult as well. Wild growth down, and FBI still almost died.
This is a caster trick. Every time we want action, we try and make a narrative point about XU, and then boom, something happens.
You know what? I'll keep that in mind for any future game. Do you think we can try it again? Does it work back-to-back? Try talking about XU now.
I'm going to wait.
You're going to wait? Okay. All right, fair enough.
I'm going to wait until we need more action. We just had some action. So the XU story's coming later.
Yeah, you gotta have highs and lows. It's, you know, wave functions here. They're pushing in this wave though, and it's showing that B-Boy is utilizing that gold advantage that he picked up. The Cole was sneaky from FBI, but it doesn't give you that many combat stats. And now Contracts is here, spotted on the vision.
Yep.
Warding the tri-brush. B-Boy and Sales trying to get this wave in.
Yeah, his whole jungle is clear though, so part of that is just shadowing. Not at a big risk of dying himself currently.
And the Raptors just spawned for XU. Let's see if they want to go for a contest there. Nope. Instead, Contracts jumps over the Dragon Pit wall. Will clear out a control ward here. That's a plate picked up for Shopify Rebellion's bot lane.
Yep, Sundered Sky being completed by XU as well. Going to want to take advantage of his power spike in this game.
Also, item completed from Contracts, though. So despite the fact that there was a double kill to XU early, Contracts is not that far behind, all things considered.
So XU.
Yeah.
I feel like the pressure's on him a little bit. Previous splits, he's the rookie jungler. You want to give him time. He's kind of had the time now.
Yeah.
But then also, I'd say this year with Griffin popping off right away.
Kryra popping off.
And then even Kizno
Yeah.
looked pretty good, who was an emergency sub who wasn't even scrimming with DSG. So there's almost this whole horde of young NA junglers that
the new wave is
now
coming.
have a lot of people saying like, okay, XU, you really need to step it up because there's clearly a pool of players that are ready to go in after you.
And
here
right now, he's going forward, has a Lulu behind him, but now Shopify are ready for the counterplay. Realm Orb and from Zinni flashes onto Ignar, trying to lock down the Lulu. And that time, Supreme Display of Talent does land. XU chased further into his own jungle, and he's not going to escape. Double kill to B-Boy. FBI tries to jump away. Conway step. B-Boy does fall. Palafox comes in, the hero from the mid lane, as he will take down his enemy jungler. Contracts falls. The grudge match continues. Palafox turns the play.
The ultimate grudge match. Bull delivers again. Palafox now 2-0-1. That looked like it could have been the moment where Shopify blows the game open. They take down XU, they get more kills, but as everyone chased through, Palafox cleans up. So the beginning of this did start with XU trying to make an aggressive play, and they get his ult out early. So Zinni flies in, does a great job flashing the seismic shove at the very start, and now it's just, all right, let's go in. Is Palafox going to solo kill Zinni?
He almost just solo killed Zinni as we were looking at live. But
that would have been like double Palafox domination in both screens. Still kind of is, as he flies in at the end, gets the double kill, finishing off Contracts, and now denies Zinni a whole wave.
And now we have a 1v1 topside. Fudge goes all out onto Photon. Ultimate from Poppy, flash by Fudge! The outplay for Shopify's top laner.
Fudge is here in this game. That's an X factor when the top laners get abandoned for so long. If Fudge gets that little bit of gold injection, especially with FBI being far behind, he could just be an absolute brick in team fights.
Solid from Fudge, who had been having a tough series so far in the 1v1. Now we see XU yet again in the jungle. Pops the ultimate, trying to buy some time. Palafox is coming in here. Dignitas, they're backing up their jungler as FBI will get the kill onto Zinni. Shopify Rebellion thought that they could get onto XU there. And XU has the backup of the team, and the Dragon is now started. Culling from B-Boy, big damage onto Ignar, some onto FBI.
So Contracts has his ultimate if he wants to contest this, but it is a temporary 3v4. Very low health on Ignar, though.
In comes Fudge. He's walking all the way from base. Same with Photon, so top laners will join shortly. Dragon at half health. Contracts looking to get in there. Supreme Display of Talent will land, but no Dragon secured. Contracts goes down. XU gets the Dragon. His team gets the kill. And Dignitas hold the line yet again. B-Boy now sped up by Seos, but now Seos left out to dry. The Nami will fall. Palafox still peppering B-Boy. Won't land the seismic shove. B-Boy sidesteps that one, but the ward goes down, and he gets the threaded volleys over the wall. Palafox with another kill.
Palafox is absolutely smurfing on Shopify Rebellion this game. 4 kills now on the Talia, just owning the river and the chase down in these fights. Zinni's in the dirt, 1,500 gold down. FBI is actually ahead of the B-Boy Lucian now. We're gonna watch this one more time. I mean, it's a difficult contest in the first place, 3v4. Kiana is strong in river, gets the stun and the wall on both FBI and Palafox, but who is actually going to follow up? It's a Lucian Nami with no Lucian ult, so that ultimate is useless in this context. Now everyone's exposed, and it's an easy chase down for the rest of Dignitas.
And then Palafox with the kill at the very end. An incredible performance from the mid laner, who we talked about the grudge match because of this.
Cassante here,
Nice.
nice.
Nice. You wanna get mid?
Got some comms listening, but the all-out from Fudge will get a shutdown onto Palafox. Caster curses are real. Right as we're talking about it, he is shut down.
Grudge match goes both ways. Fudge now, 1,500 gold himself, going to be able to also collect a bunch of turret plates because nobody can cover that wave. So a very poor death in terms of timing from Palafox there. We didn't see exactly how it started, but you could see the reaction from Palafox on the screen right afterwards. Definitely knows how bad for the game that last death was.
A lot of the gold for his team is in his pockets. Let's get a look at that, though.
Yeah.
Oh, so he starts
Cassante in, and then, yep, that is Cassante right now.
He just got Cassante.
Yeah,
okay.
Q2, Q3, right over the wall. Really well played by Fudge, seeing the kill angle.
You know
had the Iceborne Gauntlet already.
I'm on Palafox's side on that one. I feel like that's a tough moment. Be like, wait, I died? Wait, that's crazy. I hit everything on him.
Flip the Cassante away always.
Yeah,
is
fair,
the lesson.
Fair enough, fair enough. But now Fudge is the only gold lead for Shopify Rebellion. There's a 1,000 gold lead for Dignitas as they'll start up this Herald. And you can see that it is Fudge for Shopify Rebellion. Like, that is the only advantage that they have in this game right now.
Yeah, the gold on the junglers is completely even. I think a lot of it will also come down to how Contract can pilot the Qiyana in team fights. It hasn't looked like he's super comfortable on the champion in team fights so far, but that's also because they're not playing with the true frontline. Every play has been around like Lucian, Nami, Ryze. When the Cassante is able to enter and maybe create some space so the Contracts can find flanks rather than just trying to run like face first into the enemy, they'll have a better chance.
Having a big health bar to walk forward, tank all those threaded volleys, push back the Xin Zhao so that it's not the Qiyana taking up all that damage would feel great. But Shopify Rebellion have to put themselves in that position. 2 minutes until the next Dragon. Maybe that's when they choose to do just that. Because currently it's Fudge in the top lane, and Palafox is actually answering him as B-Boy goes for a little trade there onto FBI. He jumps away from the bubble, still knocked up by the Nami ult, which will get the wild growth out. So support for support ultimate and AD carry for AD carry ultimate. XU drops the Herald mid lane. Contracts is hovering, but B-Boy just got chunked out. As now XU flashes in, gets the kill. Talk about turning heads. XU's doing that right now. What a showing from the young jungler of Dignitas.
I was going to say, of course, it's Ignar who flies face first into the turret inside the Herald. That is his style, regardless of the champion that he is playing. But XU having a really nice Xin game here. Multiple kills of him just flying in onto B-Boy's Lucian and not having... B-Boy just has no answer.
Yeah, and I gotta say, going into this series, Photon had been the only player on Dignitas that had really impressed me. Not to Palafox, who'd had better laning phase than we saw last year, but this is Dignitas where everybody is doing their job. FBI had a monster carry last game and is coming back in this game despite a rough early game. Palafox is having a great carry game. XU's having a great game. Like, the magic seems to be clicking for Dignitas right now. And one thing I'll also say about them, talking to their GM, Jonathan, who his whole philosophy this year is be super transparent, talk about the team, be open in content. He said that one of the things he's most impressed with the team so far is that they have not lost mental. Even though that they were winless, the vibes are still good. They still enjoy playing together. And I think we're starting to see the benefits of that type of team environment and that type of mentality.
Well, the loser of this game will have 2 months to recover their mental, recover their mental, because Split 2 won't start for 2 months and the loser is out. But there's a fight here in the river.
XU's walking forward. Dragon's up in 10 seconds. So we're at the point to scrap for this one. Dignitas have mid lane push. And Shopify Rebellion are trying to keep them away from the river here. Controlling the banana brushes. FBI's getting some big damage onto Seos and onto Fudge. Has to use the W to get away. Zinni, meanwhile, flashing away. Photon thought he had an angle onto the wall right there. Zinni does burn the summoner spell to keep himself safe. As Dignitas now, no worry on flash from the Ryze. They're going to just walk forward onto the banana brush, clear out the vision. One more ward down, clear that one. Dignitas have taken some control.
Yeah, really nice reaction by Zinni to avoid that flash stun. That could have been a fight decider. Fudge also at half health on the outside, so even though he has a 2-level advantage on the Poppy, not stronger.
Also no flash on him, so Contracts might just have to be the one to do it yet again. Dragon at about 3/4 health. FBI will spot out Contracts, goes invisible. And Ignar's behind FBI. Now the turn here as XU jumps in onto Fudge. The Cassante is the target. Photon's trying to buy some space as well. Fudge will use XU as his escape tool, trying to trade it back. XU still alive! XU takes down Contracts, gets the Dragon, and Dignitas are slaughtering the Rebels in the fight. Zinni can't even realm warp the safety. Double kill to FBI, and Dignitas ace Shopify Rebellion.
They absolutely wipe Shopify off the map here. all 5 dead. And it did look a little out of sync. Remember, Talia ult down, Poppy ult hits nothing, but nothing can actually do damage to XU. He's sitting on that ultimate, and everyone is so short range that the damage doesn't really fly through. He gets huge heals and shields from the Lulu. His passive auto heals come in at just the right moment, and because everything was just used on XU, by the way, there's a Lulu Yunara free hitting the whole time, so Dignitas just completely run the game now.
Bye-bye, Shopify.
This is for Christian, baby.
Hell yeah.
This is for Christian. This is for the ultimate grudge match.
And we're getting Palafox for a post-match interview if
he's gonna
Dig win.
have some things to say.
He had a lot to say on pros before anything happened, and that is the grudge match. And there's so many connections between these players because Palafox, FBI, Ignar were also part of the original NRG title team, right? And then parts of that team moved over to Shopify, contracts Palafox. FBI even had time with Huhi. There was just a whole bunch of different iterations of this combos. But this one specifically, Palafox last year, and the other 4 people staying on Shopify, everyone's saying that Zinni was going to be the fix to their problems, when actually maybe Palafox was the glue holding things together.
You know what?
Which is just a crazy change to this narrative, Kangas. But that's what's going to happen if this 2-0 ends up the way it is looking.
You know, given recent news, sometimes it's better to grow separately. You know, sometimes when you're with that same partner for 4 years, you need to take a step back.
Not even close.
Okay, we
Not
were
even
able to get back.
close.
Palafox, he's out of there.
He's blessed today.
He is.
It's a blessed day for Palafox.
But sometimes you just need to move on and try a new environment, try a different team, try a different jungler here. Palafox looking much, much better with XU against Contracts and his new mid laner, because that was the big question, and that was part of my expectation. I think, you know what, if I have some time to talk about the expectations about Shopify Rebellion, because they might just go winless here as we actually get a replay. Oh, Contracts even flashed for that. Ooh.
He knows he got away with one there.
All right, that's a good chuckle.
I have a graphic for your expectations. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. So I want to talk about the Shopify Rebellion expectations that I had, because I had them as my #1 team for 2 primary reasons. Number 1, I thought a top 3 finishing team with the best offseason pickup. I was looking at a player like Zinni and what he was able to do in LCK Challengers. I was very excited for this guy. His champ pool of 22 unique champions. MVP back-to-back in 2024 against people like Saint and Loki. And then also I thought the rest of the league got a little worse, but Shopify, they have not been finding success, as now B-Boy's caught in the mid lane here. Seos cannot keep his AD carry alive. Fudge even teleports in, and now he might be in some trouble here. FBI's hitting the turret, hitting the top laner, knock him down. Photon with the kill credit and a killing spree. Dignitas looking to give Shopify Rebellion a winless split 1 in the LCK lock-in tournament. Dignitas, they have all members strong here. They're still pushing mid.
I mean, they might try and end here.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well. Who needs a Baron? Poppy ult back the Kiana. Everyone's on the turrets. Shopify Rebellion, we're not expecting this. And I don't think most of the league was either. Dignitas looking to make magic happen again with a back-to-back game win against Shopify Rebellion right here.
All right, turret's 1 hit away. They'll probably finish the turret and then look to fight a 5v4. Instead, they say we're 7,000 gold up. The only way we throw is if we try and kill the Nexus, and they back away.
Incredible reserve from Dignitas right there. They get the kill on the B-Boy, they get the kill on the Fudge, and they decimate the base. That's a threat of a health bar left on that last Nexus turret. And I think Dignitas, we can confidently say at this point, Palafox won in this breakup.
Yeah, 30 seconds until Soul, which they'll be going for right now. Last chance for Shopify to stay in lock-in tournament. XU's going in.
Goes in, Crescent Guard used, onto Seos, gets the knockup. Not able to kill the Nami though, but in comes Palafox, has the stasis as well. Supreme to split it down, only hits Ignar. They got Seos. B-Boy has no Nami in his pocket. Fudge is the target. Dignitas are doing it. Photon on a rampage. Zinni retreating all the way back to base. But with 2 dead on Shopify Rebellion, you have to imagine this is the series winning push. This is Dignitas saying, doubters be damned. Expectations mean nothing. It's about the performance on the Rift. Dignitas will kill Shopify in their own base. Dignitas will upset the team power ranked higher. Dignitas will show that it's about the heart of the players, and they will win this elimination series.
Dignitas eliminate Shopify from LCS lock-in. That also means that at the end of the day, to make it to playoffs, Dig will play a best of one against Team Liquid, which is also unexpected. And spam chat now to tell us who you think is the player of the game. And I was calling it the Palafox Bowl because of the ultimate grudge match that we had. Lounge, what do you guys think?
We think we have a winner! Yes, the grudge match bowl! Decidedly, Palafox the winner of it. I like the comms listening too, and Ignor's like, this one's for Christian!
Yeah, that was great.